Hola, buenos días. Speak Deno Paints here for you on a beautiful Sunday morning. Ready to do some extremely exciting painting, sort of. Actually, we're going to open some shit first because my Kickstarter turned up, which is unreal. So I just thought I'd open a couple of these and have a little bo peep at the quality. And then we'll also open up something else that came with the Kickstarter. These are all really nice packages, actually. Kickstarter. G'day, Conrad. Yeah, really nice packages. It's always interesting, like when you get a product that a manufacturer has obviously made for retailing versus a product where they've obviously made for selling from a web store. Like this is obviously a retail focused product because you've got nice packaging. G'day, Sammy. Yeah, it looks like a nice cast actually. Oh, has he got optional heads, has he? Cool. He's got a horned head. He's got a bearded head. And he's got a ram's skull. Nice. Yep, that's awesome. That is awesome. Um, yeah, I don't know if I've talked to my plans for this Kickstarter that much, but we are going to do another big old crazy project with all of them on the one thing. Probably do that pretty soon, actually. In a couple of months. I want to try and do 4 big projects this year. So, given that I'm in April, I'll probably aim to start it in maybe June. We'll see. Oh, this one's Scorpio. Oh, yes. Yes. I need to get some columns like this. Yeah, awesome. It's gotta be fun to paint. Cool. And now the real exciting unboxing. Get ready. So I was the Kickstarter backer that had the all-in pledge, and I had a funny experience when it arrived because I'd forgotten that I was the Kickstarter backer for the all-in pledge. I thought I was just getting the models and nothing else. And then they gave me this box of paints, and I was like, "Oh my god, they've fucked up my order. I didn't get this." Yeah, freebies. Which was not the case. I did pay for it. So now I don't use a lot of scale. Oh cool, they come in a little box. I don't use a lot of scale paints these days. Sometimes I have some that I use, but not a lot. Super mattes, inks. I do like inks. Luor. Alright, what? Crater orange. Juno green. How do I tell the difference? How do I tell what's which? What? What? Surely it says it on here somewhere. Scar 75. Gemini blue. That's definitely a fluoro. That's definitely a fluoro. I'm perplexed. How do I tell which ones are the inks? Oh, this looks like a nice color. I'm gonna have a look at this. I've been looking for a nice new blue. Ooh, that's a nice looking color. This purple looks good too. Astral magenta. Oh, that's an ink. Where does it say on here? It literally doesn't say anywhere on there whether it's an ink or a paint. It's just got a stupid name. Astral magenta. Maybe it says it on the box. It says it on the box. Alright. Inks, Astral Magenta, Cancer Turquoise, and Meteor Orange. Ooh. That could be a replacement for Volupus Pink. Oh, Capricorn Brown. That looks like a good colour. I was excited about the paints. In case you couldn't tell. Meteor Orange. Oh, cool. G'day, Match Fixer. Thanks for the subscription, champion. Maybe I should turn my audio on. Oof. This looks like a very nice colour. Ooh. I'm excited. I'm excited to try some of these. Alright, these will just go over here for a moment. That's not all the show and tell, friends. We've got more. G'day, Captain Carp. My very good friend, David. Yeah, those some of those colours look really nice. And Scale 75, you know, they're very matte, but that's something you can prepare for and account for. Yeah, sort of just a little mini unboxing made of some stuff that I picked up. I'm sneezy. Seven Dwarves. From the great man himself. Lucas Pina. It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece. I don't know why I didn't get it initially. That was a ridiculous decision, Deno. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, that is going to be beautiful to paint, and I think we will do that very soon. Got a candle on his head too. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Any artwork in this little box? No, Dave's stolen it. He stole the artwork. He stole the artwork from my Lucas Peanut collection that I didn't buy in the first place. How dare he? Nah, thanks, Dave. All right. Today we're going to try painting this guy, and it should be interesting because I'm just not really feeling it at all. So I'm just going to try and splash around some colors and see what happens. And yes, Space Toy, welcome. See if we get any positive results. Like, I don't like this at the moment. I don't like. The only thing I like at the moment is the orange. Are there any good browns in this? Jupiter brown. Let's try Jupiter brown. If we fail at completing this task, that's all right, because I don't have to finish every piece excellently. All right, so scale 75 paints in general tend to be a little bit more gel based than some of the other paints, which can be very unusual if you're unused to them. And they can also be very matte. Both things are fine if you're aware of what you're getting yourself in for. If you are not aware of those facts and you've come particularly from a Games Workshop background, they will often be a very big shock to the system. However, they do cover really nicely when you've mixed them properly, which I haven't. Oh, it's been an interesting few weeks, my work friends. So I decided to take a little time off from work, which starts next weekend, over Easter weekend. So I get a few days off over Easter, and then I tacked on an extra week after that, just to have a break, have a Kit Kat. Yeah, just feel a little bit cooked at the moment. So yeah, taking a break for that reason. You are absolutely right, Magnaris. Breaks are very important. Ooh, this blue's looking good. Looking good. Yeah, I don't know what industry or what other people do for a job, but it's been my experience in the last 12 to 18 months that every industry is fucked. Doesn't matter what you do. COVID has just completely reshaped every aspect of our working lives and trying to find the new normal, the new balance. It's pretty crazy. I'm a manager for a retail business, mate. So, and it's not considered an essential one. Um, so in Australia, that meant during the pandemic, the worst of it, we uh, we closed down stores, we laid off staff, um, and I was the one who got to tell them that. And now, would you believe, we're staring into one of the worst staffing crises we can have, we've ever had, if not the worst. We can't recruit people, and we can't, yeah, exactly like Space Toy. We can't train the new ones we've got. Um, so it's wild, wild times in the wonderful COVID-free world. And sorry, don't take that as a criticism of um, government decision making throughout the pandemic. Uh, I'm sure mistakes were made by governments and people, uh, but ultimately that was a very, very challenging situation that you probably couldn't win, irrespective of what decision you made. It was never going to be the right decision. There's a philosophy or something called utilitarianism. Do the greater good for the most people, something like that. And I just don't know that there was a right choice. Yeah, shipping at the moment is quite catastrophic. Company I work for, we ship our products um, by boat, so we're fucked. So yes, this conversation came about because I found work very, very challenging, very demanding, but it's a job that I've been at from for 18 years now. I'm not particularly interested in leaving and starting again at a new company, so I am just trying to make sure I stay fresh and as positive as possible. Um, by taking breaks. So I had a break in Feb, start of Feb, end of Jan, having another break now. Just little ones, just a week here, week there. It makes a difference. G'day, Top. Have you got any pictures of your little scene? Any more work? Is there a little lobster talisman? Is there? Where's the lobster? Oh, there it is. Ah, little lobster. How cool. What can I sing for you, white squirrel? Welcome. Warm up the pipes. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, or soaring over and under on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world. A new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. A whole new world. A dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. Thank you, mate. Space Toy, good night to you, mate. Appreciate the visit. I'll be back tomorrow for a Monday stream, bit more normal time for you. G'day, Nashland. Delicious. No, mate. Well, no, I just got one. I could have asked for more. DC's doing 3, which is quite amusing when you think about it. The slowest guy's doing 3, and the fastest guy's only doing 1. But no, I'm just doing Gwen. Yeah, I don't know why. I probably could have done more. I'll explain the reason why. It was a WhatsApp group, and we were in the WhatsApp group, chatting away, and then everyone was like blah 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 blah, and then the dude who was organising it sent out emails, and I was like, yeah, cool, and I was at work when I read that, so then this conversation sort of stopped in there, and then I forgot about it, because it went to my spam folder and my email provider, not my phone, like not my email, but my email provider considered it spam. So the only way I could access it was checking my emails on my website, or as opposed to just my phone. So I'm like, oh, I realized about 2 weeks later that I hadn't received any emails. I was like, fuck, what's going on? So I went and checked my junk folder, and there they were. And they assigned me Spider-Gwen, and they sent out an email asking if anyone wanted to paint any more, and I obviously didn't respond, and that was that. So I probably could, and I wasn't like super late to say, hey, can we do that? Like they hadn't been sent or anything, but I was just like, oh, I don't want to make any trouble for anyone. I haven't really. I'm sure it was more difficult for them by the fact that I didn't fucking answer. So there you go. A very boring story about my life and how I'm bad at interneting. But the reason I said maybe is because I'm going to do a Gambit duty for one of my mates, one of my third Tuesday night gaming group, legend friends. G'day, Nurgle. It is both actually. It's a fantastic product that I highly recommend. That I've been using for many years. That I was initially recommended by Rafael Pica. It is called Joe Sonia Magic Mix. It is a drying retardant, g'day Xtab, and a matte medium and a flow improver. So it's sort of like a mixture of all of the things. This big bottle costs about $8, I think, $10 maybe. And this lasts me for about 3 years in general. So yeah, and I just add a little Bobby Dazzler in there whenever I'm painting. So for those regulars on the Monday night stream, the Nika Jaguar, my friend, who also works with me at the same place, who gets on here, it was involved in a competition at work, which he won. And he's flying down to the Formula One Grand Prix in Melbourne this weekend. So he's on a flight right now. Actually, what a cool prize! Is this Moonface going in a collab? It's not. No, it's just for fun. White Squirrel, you are absolutely able to get a critique at any time you would like. Any time at all. Yeah, how awesome's that? Corporate box and everything. Come to this one, Tops. Get on a plane right now. I don't nothing at all. All right. I don't recall giving you any feedback before White Squirrels, so I'll give you a couple of ground rules. You get carved up, and you have to cop it. That's ground rule number one. Ground rule number two, I do try to tailor my feedback to be appropriate for the level of painter, as much as possible. So I like this. I like a number of things about it. You've got a very clear contrast between the red and the green. Really pops. The little squig dude at the top. I really like the yellow armor, like the weathered armor, particularly on this angle here. That's a really nicely done area. Really nice gradient. Some appropriate weathering without it being overpowering. It's easy to go too far in weathering, but you've just got a nice balance there. So that's really good. The areas I think you could improve. So this is kind of a display painting perspective that I tend to share a lot. It's really important that you have clear focal points on your figure. G'day, Minimancer. Because it creates a more interesting figure to look at when you have a key area to look at. And generally, for most figures, this tends to be the face. I don't get that from this figure. It's much more sort of lit evenly across the whole piece. And so I think probably doing something to make the face a little bit more interesting, a little bit more high contrast, a little bit more intense would be cool. The second piece of feedback I'll give is the green itself is possibly could do with a little more highlighting in general, because it's getting quite lost beside the yellow. And yeah, so all the feedback I give, I try to come from a display painting perspective. This looks like it's a piece for your army, which, you know, feel free to ignore my advice on that perspective. But you want to create a really significant contrast between sections that sit side by side. You know, so if you have a dark section, the section beside it should be light. The problem I see here is you've got the green, which is quite a light color, beside the yellow, which is also quite a light color, and they're both fighting for attention. So you either need to bring the yellow down a touch so the green's more intense and powerful and contrasted and the focal point, or bring the green up, which is what I would probably do because I do like the yellow. But I would try to add something else to the skin to maybe help it, you know, whether that's maybe adding some flesh colors around the mouth or the face, you know, just a really something quite different. And I think the eyes probably need to pop more, so a little white dot in the eyes would probably help that. But overall, mate, it's a really cool figure. Yeah, if you had a whole army of these, you'd be stoked. It's a high standard for an army. I've painted a few armies, so I know. I'd be chuffed with that. This arm here is the final piece of feedback I'll give. So it's really important that you think about volumes and lighting. So, probably a normal approach when you're first starting out painting is to treat every volume the same, which is what I call the global Games Workshop approach to highlighting. In reality, every volume is slightly different. G'day, mate. With how much highlight it needs to be done or where you highlight it. So the very first question I ask myself on every paint job is, where is the light source? Now, I can't answer that question for your figure because I don't know, because the highlighting is not consistent for the light. Each area is sort of highlighted on the raised areas and shaded in the recesses. When actually, if you think about it, if the light's coming from the top, you know, there should be highlights in different areas and shadows in different areas. Something to think about. Overall, mates, cool figure. Should be pretty happy with that. Well done. I am very well, mate. Yes. It's a wonderful day. It's a Sunday. I'm painting toy soldiers. We played a game called Return to Dark Tower last night. It was very fun. I liked it a lot. It was on Kickstarter. Maybe last year. I think it might have been the year before. Yeah, only just arrived. But fuck, it was pretty funny. It's pretty funny game. There's a gigantic tower that sits in the middle of the board, and you put skulls in the top of the tower at the end of every turn, and the tower will like rotate, make noises, and have lights flash at you, and then every now and then skulls will drop out. Not when you always when you drop them in. Sometimes it'll drop them out. Sometimes it'll hold on to them. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool the way that it works. I was extremely impressed. Um, yeah. So next few projects, friends. We've got the Pixie sitting there, and so we're probably gonna do her next. Um, I'm then definitely doing some board game painting of some figures, which may or may not be off stream depending on a few things panning out. And You will start to see a few less streams from me as I start to do more videos on my YouTube channel. I'm really keen to get more into the art of making videos. So it's quite interesting. When I came into streaming, I had a pretty clear perspective that I wanted to improve, and do that by trying to explain and teach my process to people. And I felt like that's been really, really helpful and interesting and fun. But I do feel like I'm starting to want to push that more towards painting a figure, explaining it from start to finish. You know, the steps a little bit more structured, as opposed to this, which is much more free form. I'm definitely not going to stop streaming, mate. Like I really enjoy interactions, and I think one thing it's really done for me is, first of all, help me get faster. Second of all, it's really given me a clear painting time. You know, like I paint Monday nights, full stop, that's it. I paint Sunday mornings, full stop, that's it. Wednesday nights, sometimes paint. But, you know, having those clear times, it's been really, you know, positive from the perspective of, hey, I'm just going to do some painting every week like clockwork, which I did before, but it's the monotonous regularity. Made a difference, I think. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll just drop that down a little. So we'll probably just retain Monday night streams, and do Party Monday every week, and then I'll use the other painting days for my video making, in theory. Depends what sort of project I'm on at the time. You know, if I'm doing a big project. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do painting tutorials as well, Top. I want to try and make some, you know, videos talking about my process of building, you know, crazy dioramas and that sort of stuff. But I do want to film some board game streams as well. And actually, g'day Hut Armories. Actually, Wednesday's stream this week is probably going to be me playing a game of Star Wars Rebellion with my friend Koki. Should be very, very cool. Feathered wings. I don't know that I've got too many feathered projects. Is there any feathers in that? There's a few little feathers. So yeah, talking about you know, YouTube videos, like making a video from start to finish on Ultima Thule was initially my intention. And I've actually got like a 5-minute clip of me at the start filming me making the base and putting together stuff on the base and doing a lot of steps like that. So I've actually got like a little 5-minute clip of the start of the project. The problem was every time, and it takes time, and every couple of days I'd have to pull my camera setup off, bring it back over to the painting table and set it up for a stream, and then keep going with the stream. And that was the thing that stopped me wanting to film it. So the reason I'm dropping down potentially the number of streams is just so I can, you know, have a better go at making videos. Minimancer, if you go back to Thanatos on YouTube, I did wings on stream on Thanatos, and I'm pretty sure I talked through the process on that. I don't know actually. I don't think he does. Don't think he does. Interesting. This figure. It should be one that I absolutely froth over, and I love the figure. Um, and Seb's sculpting on it is unbelievable. But I've really struggled to connect with like an idea. Usually I'll just start painting and ideas will pop into my head, but I've really struggled on this one to come up with a really good concept. Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on myself to like really crush it. But yeah, bit annoying really. Who's seen the new Harry Potter film, Secrets of Dumbledore? I have. I saw it on opening night. I liked it. It is quite fun. I do get the slight feeling that they are somewhat milking the goose that lays the golden eggs by making a 5-movie arc out of what really could probably be a 3-movie arc. If anyone else felt that way, just feels a little a little bit of a stretch. But I'm a consumer. I shall consume. Yeah, they the first one I just had no idea why it existed, other than it was good fun. The second one felt like this is the story we actually want to tell. It's about Dumbledore. But actually we're just not going to put Dumbledore in the movie for very much. And the third one was finally where they started to be like, hey, remember that character from the first movie that everyone loved and was devastated when he died? Let's actually talk about him for once. And it was good. It was very good. Yeah, it came out on Thursday, mate. 7th. Well, actually, that's where it came out in Australia. I don't know if it's the same in the States. Mads is excellent. Mads is tremendous, as you would expect. That looks cool, actually, yeah. Anna would love that too. Michelle Yeoh, she's a superstar. um, and it's only like what is it, 4 weeks, 3 weeks now until Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which will be unreal as well. Um, can't wait. Hey, how good's Moon Knight, by the way? If you haven't been watching Moon Knight, do yourself a favor and get on it. It's fucking awesome. Oh my god, I'm cracking up so much every time I watch it. Poe Dameron is a fucking champion. Get in there, Poe. It's always the mark of a good actor when they're playing two roles, and yet you feel like they're completely different people. That is legitimately how I feel with this particular characters. Yeah, I know nothing about it. Well, that's not true. I knew nothing about it after I watched the first one. And then I was like, oh my God, I know nothing about this guy. So I went and did a little bit of reading about him on Wikipedia. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. I didn't realize anything about this. It's going to be so great. And so now I'm just sitting back and enjoying the ride. But it looks like it's a different interpretation to the comics. Anyway, Because in the comics, the guy has no powers. You haven't watched Moon Knight, do yourself a favor, get on it. Get on Moon Knight. It's a treat. Probably for the best though, Top, don't you reckon? Like, they made a fair few little changes in the more famous character arcs and stuff. But yeah, they were always going to have to do something new their own way. G'day, Warhammer 40k Katie and Shock Trooper. Hi. I was never really a Katie and Shock Trooper fan, if I can be honest. I was a Catachan Jungle Fighters fan. Until they came out with the Catachan Jungle Fighters box set. And then I stopped being a Jungle Fighters fan. Because I was all about that converting life. I made mine out of Goliath's figures from Necromunda. Did you? When did you lose Cadia? When did that happen in the story? My 40k lore is very, very, very ordinary, mate. So I can do you a fair chunk of stuff that happened in the 2000 through to 2004 sort of era. In the history. So I know a fair bit about the Horus Heresy and all of the Primarchs. And that's about all I've got going. Fair enough. There's no good guys in the world of 40k, but if there was one, it's the Imperial Guard. They're the closest to the good guys. Just the little humans, just doing their best, just living their best life. Go humans, fire up! Hey, Rapid Transit, welcome out. Yeah, no, I was on the fence this morning. I was like, yeah, do I feel like streaming? And then I was like, yes, yes, I do feel like trying to finish this project off so I can stop taunting me. All of the time. Did you get some good cash out of it though? Magnificent. uh, I'm gonna have to put a stop on Kickstarters very soon because I've got currently 5 big Kickstarter projects that I'm planning on doing, all based on how cool the models are and the theme. I've got Scale 75. I've got Inner Kingdoms, although that one I'm probably not doing a big thing for. I'm just going to give a couple of those figures away and stuff. Paint a couple of them. I've got the Nico Galaxy one. I've got I've already done Ultima Thule. No, the one I'm concerned about is this new Chimera one. Yeah. The Chimera one isn't I'm very nervous about. Because I'm seeing a lot of shit. I got paints. I got fucking dark fantasy necromancer undead guys. Oh, and Carol Rudik's vampires as well. So yeah, at the moment, we've got Scale 75, we've got Nico Galaxy, we've got vampires, and we're gonna have the Chimera as well. I think it's gonna be 4 major projects. So I'm putting a stop on any more Kickstarters, miniature Kickstarters this year, because I can't keep up with this pace of crazy big projects. I haven't seen what Eric's working on, no. Officially. Yeah, if I couldn't watch Netflix, I probably would paint a lot. But I reckon I'm going to be able to pocket whatever the maximum Kickstarter fucking thing is, whatever the maximum allowable thing is, I will be in for that. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Which is problematic. Because I know how much they're going to sit there and taunt me. Be like, hey, Dano, paint us, you fuck. You spent $1,000 on a stickhead. And I'll be like, yep. Stop taunting me! That's a good question, Top. How do I feel about it? Well, I've also got the Mindworks Games Oz diorama coming and the Chimera Three Ladies. Probably going to be here any day now. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I like I like that there are these ambitious creative projects happening. I like uh, I like how dynamic a lot of them are. Like particularly that Mindworks Oz one. You know that's awesome. And that was kind of what I was trying to do with my original Oz, but it's better. Um, it's a very uh, short, small bracket of people that are willing to paint a project of that scale and can paint a project of that scale to a standard that makes it worthwhile. So, uh, I guess my feeling on those sorts of projects is I love the fact that they exist. I don't know that what we've generally seen from the majority of people with those sorts of projects is um, all that exciting. Like you go through, um, you think about how many painters have done awesome versions of those sorts of things aside from box arts. You know, Michael Contreras has released like Atonement and uh, the Four Horsemen, and you go through and you look at the number of people that have done versions of those things, and you're like, there's only like one or two. Um, because it's just a huge commitment of time to put yourself into a project like that. Um, Trust me, I know. I've done it a lot. And I don't know that the average punter um, is going to be willing to devote that much time. And I don't know that the average punter is going to be able to get a result on a piece of that scale that they like. Having said all that, I'd much rather it exist than not exist. Because you're either um, never going to see it or you might start to see it. So, how do you feel about him, Top? How many have you done? You're about to embark on a project of uh, multiple things now. Yeah, they certainly give you a different appreciation for composition. You know, having them and looking at them and going, "Oh yeah, that's interesting," and that's I would not have done that, or you know, that's something that's an advantage. I got the Oz one. I think the Oz ones, particularly, I love Wizard of Oz, so I was always going to get that one. But I don't know if you guys watch much YouTube, but Squidmar Miniatures just did a video that he released in the last couple of days, where he's doing a paint off, or taking all miniature paints and pitting them off against each other, and it was sponsored by Mindworks, and they painted some of the Oz figures in the video. The video is worth watching. Interesting. All due respect to Squidmar, the dude that he's got painting alongside him, he shits all over him. He's fucking good painter, the other guy. Squidmar's pretty good too, but you don't get to see it that much. Because of the eternal struggle of making videos versus painting models. I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed by your statement of Harry Potter is awesome. Harry Potter is awesome. I liked the new movie, but I'm really struggling to understand. I'm not the sharpest tool in the drawer, though. Oh, there you go. Is he called Harry Potter? I didn't know that. That's very good. Thank you. I've learned something new today, and I like it. He is awesome. I like the cut of his jib. Get a massive cravat. It's a fun one for you, friends. If you say to someone, I like the cut of your jib, what you're referring to in modern day and age is that you like the way someone is dressed or appears. You like their appearance. Originally, that meant you like the shape of their nose, and even further back, it meant it come from nautical terms. It meant that you liked the shape of the boat. The boat had a nice shape. So I like the cut of your jib was like, I really like the way that your boat looks in the water, which then became, wow, I really like the shape of your nose, which is now, I really like how you appear, which is fucking awesome. I love etymology. It's the study of words and how things appear and become part of our vocabulary. I love finding out stuff like that. Must drive my girlfriend mental when I'm like saying these expressions and like, did you know where that comes from? But I guess on the scale of things, that's probably the least annoying thing I would do. Thanks, buddy. Look after yourself, Conrad. Hey, they just announced Monty today, mate. Hope you get to go. It is a lobster. Yes, it is a lobster charm. Anything and everything all of the time. Hugo just had a bark at people, not dogs. My girlfriend said he barked at shirtless hippies in the park. He didn't bark at any other dogs, just the shirtless hippies. This is a good piece of advice for everyone for painting little toy soldiers. Sometimes you just have to push through because this already looks much better than this morning when I was, you know, not not hating it, but just not enthusiastic about painting it. And now I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool actually. Because I've got all of the areas of color filled in, and now all of a sudden you can start to see a little bit more about, this. Now I think these shoulder pads need to change. But it suddenly feels a lot more interesting to me to paint. All right, let's do, I think we want to do these little bits in gold. Let's have lots of gold all over it. Anything and anything all of the time. Say it ain't so. It's so hard to say it ain't so. I talked about it a little bit with Bucks when the probably a couple of days after it. And we sort of got into a really interesting discussion about, I guess the difference between a Golden Demon as a competition versus something like the competition that I judged, Crimson Brush, which was more display figure oriented than thing. But yeah, to briefly give my perspective, Games Workshop as an entity exists for one purpose, and that is to make money as a business, to sell figures, and their painting competition has to be reflective of that goal as well. Like, if it's not, it's not. What's the point in having it, right? So, their selections, their judging criteria are different to the competitions that I would normally enter or judge or be involved in, because those competitions focus a little bit less on how well does this fit into the theme of our universe and our shared lore. How well does this promote our products, and more about creativity and contrast and the things we talk about a lot. So that information is, I guess, reasonably well known by the painting community that Golden Demon is a different style of painting and has different criteria. And that's fine. Like it's if everything was the same, life would be pretty boring. So it's cool that it's got different criteria and a different purpose. The skink that won was very reflective of a perfect example of that in action. It's a Games Workshop figure with minimal conversion that is painted in the Games Workshop style to absolute perfection, and it is, you know, next to impossible to find a flaw on that figure. So well done to that guy, fantastic. Now that's not going to win fuck all at Monty. You know, it'd probably get a gold, maybe a silver, maybe a bronze, but there's a lot of fucking figures at Monty that are painted just as well as that in different and innovative ways. I don't understand the frustration about it though, and maybe that's just me, and I'm just very relaxed about everything. But it's maybe it comes from the perspective of being on the other side of the table. It's a hard thing to do, to judge people, and if you go back and look at the stream that I did judging the Crimson Brush, I am sure you would be able to take two figures that I spoke about side by side, or on different times in the video, put them side by side, and I would put one forward that I liked and put one forward that I disliked for purely subjective reasons, and it makes me look like a criminal. I am certain that happened. Because judging is subjective, irrespective of how objectively we define the specific rules. It is always subjective. It is always based on how a human feels about it. And again, that's a good thing. Because if everything was the same, life would be very boring. Where I think I find it difficult is in some of the other sides of the coin, like the skink. No problems with the skink. Skink rules. Some of the diorama choices, I think I would have gone differently. Yeah, indeed, Oriclast. I don't know how Kaha's single figure qualifies and a diorama doesn't. Maybe the only thing I can think is because it's Sigvald, who's Slaaneshi, and the paint style was sort of quite Slaaneshi feel, maybe. But yeah, that just those, and then you have the Dreadnought, which was super rusty and well done, side by side with a figure that was super clean, sort of more G-Dub style. It's a difficult thing to do, right? And so kudos to those people who judged it. Appreciate your time and effort that you put into it. What can you take from it? If you want to win a Golden Demon, you got to paint in a way that is reflective of Games Workshop's background stories and that. And sometimes you also need to get a little bit of magic in there, like Kaha. What's interesting though, like when you go back and look at the Golden Demon winner, Slayer Sword winner from a couple of years ago, which was Maxime Penord's Troggoth dude, whatever his name is, from Underworlds or wherever he's from. That won gold at Scale Model Challenge because that was an out and out awesome figure that was much more reflective of a European style than the Games Workshop style. So it's fascinating that they made that decision, but then sort of, I won't say they backtracked it, but they went completely different perspectives. So it may just be subjective. Might be reading too much into it, and just cop it on the chin and just say do your best, and that's it. Paint your best figure and call it a day, friends. That's all you can do. I have a Golden Demon in my kit. I got it in 2004. I won a bronze. I didn't deserve to win a bronze, but I've got it, so I can say I'm better than all those fuckers who haven't got one. Sock shot. Sock shot. No, seriously, suck shit. I've got one and you don't. Ninjon, you wanker. He's a good dude. There is absolutely no way I would win one now. Just in a fucking million years. Yeah, that's a good perspective, Magnus. And yeah, we there's a competition here in Brisbane called Queensland Model Hobby Expo, which has a historical component, and it is exactly what you just described, right? I've entered pieces in the historical category that were painted, um, from my perspective, objectively better than any of the other historical figures. But there was one where I got the color of a dude's like badges wrong or some shit. They were supposed to be pink, and I painted them red, and I got nothing. I got no medal because I painted them red instead of pink. It's a German tank commander or something. Can't remember. And that's same sort of shit in 40k. If you don't know, this 40k guy is from this Space Marine chapter and blah 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 blah. Yeah, you'll struggle. Say it so. It's so heartbreaking. Say it so. That's it. Well, you could say he was Napoleon's younger brother, the milkman. You're unlikely to win. Yeah, I got a couple of, I got the whole Kickstarter. I did a review last week on the actual Kickstarter, but yeah, these models turned up, the Scale 75 ones. So I've got all of those that arrived. En route to me, I think I've also got all the vampires from Carol Ludick and Inner Kingdoms busts, but I'm probably going to give those away or sell some of them. Maybe give them away as prizes for next year's thing because I did two of them. There's one more of them I want to do actually, so I'll probably do that one. Might be two actually. Yeah, quality's good, mate. If Gundam can, that's a good question. Let's mull on that. Let's not making a rash decision there. Scale 75 quality is usually pretty good. Yeah, quality's awesome. Uh, They did their yeah, I got cancer handy. They did their uh what was that global painting competition they did? What was that one called? The thing? I don't remember. The Games Workshop one where you just entered in a store. I did that. I entered in a store and I made the top, what was it? Top 100 or top 1,000 or something? I fucking can't remember that, whenever it was. Ever Chosen, thank you. I entered that and I did okay at that. I don't think I would. I like painting Games Workshop figures. Like I have a blast painting them. Really enjoyed Curse City. Really enjoyed, those other ones I did, the Underworlds ones. But I don't know um, that I would enter Golden Demon. What do you want to What do you want to see, Top? He's a crabby boy. Blah, 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 blah. This crab's pretty awesome, actually. Blah, 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 blah. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Fuck. They gave me two of the same piece, you wankers. Two of the same. Knob ends. Ah well. I'll just cut that off. I can make that work. I'm not even sure I'm using the crab actually in my diorama. It's just his crab legs, mate. You don't need that to be... As long as you got one of each of these. Yeah, they're different. That one goes there. Little crabby legs is fine. We can get away with that. I like the chick or dude. I think it's a chick on that one. I'm just letting the ideas percolate at the moment around what we're going to do with that diorama. I haven't got a clear vision yet. That's going to be the next diorama we do, but unless I don't have an idea and the um Caloric vampires rock up, because I've actually got a fucking vision in my head of how I want that to look already. And if they turn up, which I think they might turn up soon because he's already shipped them. I love Carol's vampires. I love them. I think I've painted most of them in bust form anyway. Oh yeah, even if I don't use the crab on the diorama, the crab will make an appearance at some point. It's a fucking cool bit. You gotta find the right time to use little bits like that. Like the phoenix. The phoenix I just used on my jewel. Xtab, you are bang on. I did paint the 75mm version of Demeter von Gore on here. It was the second figure I painted on stream. Well done. Well remembered. I've done not many of the other 75mm from Carl Rudick. I did Lady of the Lake. Did see the Griffin, yeah. I'm not sure on the Griffin. I'm not particularly interested in signing up for painting that many fucking feathers. Really? Sounds like a hell no to me. Hey, Top, you haven't told me how's your Kingdom Death going. You been playing any of the games, mate, or? Fair enough. Stupid computer games. We had Weezer playing last night at games. Something in my head. Yeah, it's a bit of a mission to set up. Hey, are you using that app, Scribe? Yeah, I can't play without it. Try playing without it, mate. It takes a fucking an age. So I've played 6 campaigns, 7 campaigns now from start to finish. But the very first one I did was with a mate of mine. And it was what drew me to the game because he had it was like, oh, we were playing board games every week. I was doing 4 nights of board games a week at this time. I had to drop that down a bit. um, but yeah, so we were playing Spirit Island and some other stuff, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to try Kingdom Death?" I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." I always talked about it and heard about it, but never played it. So then we played a little Kingdom Death. Played 4 missions on the one night. I was like, I'm in. Kingdom Death's amazing. That following week, I went and found a full Kickstarter copy, which I spent a farcical amount of money on. Got all the figures, everything, and then I ended up playing 4 or 5 campaigns. I reckon 4 before we finished our one because we were playing one or two hunts a week. Um, we did end up getting to the Gold Smoke Night, uh, but we were defeated. But what was really, really, really um, shit house was we were just using the player sheets, just the little sheets that come with the game. We'd laminated them though, so that made it a bit easier. Oh, so I have no regrets over my purchase of Kingdom Death. I think I um, probably made my purchase worthwhile by painting every single figure and the enjoyment I got out of that. If I was to sell my fully painted Kingdom Death, I think I would make out like a dead set bandit. And let's go. Which I may do at some point. I haven't really decided if I'm going to sell my Kingdom Death collection. I really desperately want all of the new expansions and thing, but the actual reality is, when are they going to turn up? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, ever? And I don't want to just be like hanging on to a game that I don't really want to play anymore on the off chance that some figures might turn up that I do want to play with, but I don't actually know. Having said all of that, I would like to just buy the figures and paint the figures. So some of the Wave 2 figures are literally jaw dropping. So I will probably buy all of the new expansions when they finally get dropped at aftermarket prices, or maybe even cheaper because people will sell them off because they've moved on, they've had kids, they don't want to play the game anymore, etc. I'll paint the figures and then I'll put my Kingdom Death collection up for sale, fully painted, everything, and I will pay off my house. What do you reckon is a reasonable price to charge for a fully painted Kingdom Death collection? All released content, core, all expansions, Gambler's Chest, Campaigns of Death, the new expansions, talking about it in the future. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could sell my Kingdom Death today, which is the core box, all expansions, nicely painted. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, to buy the figures themselves, to buy the collection of figures themselves is like 5 grand, 6 grand to buy everything for Kingdom Death that's been released, game content wise. So you get that, and then on top of that, you go a little bit of Big Deno gravy on the painting. Probably 20k, eh? I'd probably advertise it for 20 grand. See if I could get that. Wonder what I could get for just the game right now. I'm not going to sell the game right now though, because I want to paint the Gambler's Chest figures and get the new expansions as previously discussed. But yeah, I reckon I could probably get easy 5 grand for it now. Maybe more. Anything and everything all of the time. Yeah. Yeah, Monty trip back and forth, all hotels, accommodation stuff. The previous couple of years it cost 5-6 grand for the whole kit and caboodle. I think last year we did a 5 day, 5 week holiday, and it was about 7.5 grand, nearly 8. So, yeah. I have to do some airbrush cleaning, friends. Apologise, this is never the most interesting to watch, but has to happen because this is fucked. It is, yes, mate. You haven't done any airbrushing on this at all. That's fun, isn't it? And it's actually just the varnish. Actually haven't done any airbrushing at all. Bit depressing, really. It's like crushing soft drink cans for a living. It's so depressing. Thank you. I'll be here all week to try the veal. It's really good. Probably a fair point, actually. Uh, yeah, just brush glaze. Suboptimal. This is stuck in there. To get that out somehow. Ugh. I have started the head, yeah. Here's the head. We might glue it all together. That might help me feel better about it. Actually, I mean, I like it much more now than I did at the start of the day. So we'll finish it off tomorrow night on Party Monday. I want to do some spiral patterns and stuff. I actually want to do an airbrush glaze because they've got a lot of different finishes, and I think I think a matte varnish is going to help a lot. I concur. It does. Ooh, there's a lot of caked in stuff there. Okay, matte varnish. I spray that shit on everything. This has been due for a fair while. I've been putting it off and putting it off. Where are my tweezers at? There they are. Posted a board game playthrough on my YouTube channel the other day. It's me playing a game called Obsession. It's a wonderful game. Don't get that in your eyes, do you know? Fuck. Don't do that. Thank you. Ooh. G'day, Twigman. Life is well, mate. Thank you for asking that. Best tips for improving those things. That's a good question, mate. I mean, the obvious answer is practice. Yeah, as Al's just said there, practice is the obvious response to that. You know, the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. But yeah, you could do like I've done a lot of little uh, streams where I've like described stuff on this bit of cardboard here. And so one of the things you can do is yeah, get a little bit of cardboard like this and try and draw straight lines. Cardboard reacts very differently to a miniature figure, as it absorbs the paint. So you're not going to get much value out of the paint reaction, but it's still useful. Oh man, this is tough. To be able to draw a straight line, it'll help you. It'll help you control. Maybe I won't take it off. But yeah, practice is inevitably the correct answer to just about everything. But think about the type of practice you're doing. Like if you're like, well, I really want to get better at brush control, go and get yourself a figure that requires you to do some pretty detailed brush control. Yep. Most people that have been on this stream have seen me do stuff with an airbrush. I promise you I wasn't able to do that when I first started. Say it ain't so. Mini Mansa, what can I sing for you? There used to be a great tower alone on the sea. You remain the light on the dark side of me. Love remains a cross that's high enough to give. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on a grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, the light hits the gloom on the grave. Did I lose my Springling? Where's my Springling gone? Is that the song? Did I get the right song? Am I blind, friends? Have I lost my spring? Can anyone see my spring? I don't feel like I dropped anything. How often do I go to karaoke? Never. Never go to karaoke. I should though. I'd crush it. Hello, Utani Art. Welcome. Look, man, I'm going to commiserate with you on the spike on your mercenary goblin, but you can get away without that. You can't really get away with your airbrush without a spring, my friend. You can buy a new one. They're pretty cheap. It takes time. Where the fuck did it go? You gotta drop it on somewhere? G'day. I think so. Here, Utani, thanks for joining. Here's something I did a little while ago while I'm looking for something. Very boring. Oh, it's in here. Yeah, no. You're an idiot. Yes. Whoever said that, Scarabost. You burnt yourself. 10 Deno bucks, mate. Well done. Thanks, Utani Art. I appreciate that. I'm not doing anything so grandiose today. Every time you say that, it just pops into my head an old song that I used to like by a band called Something for Kate. They did a song called Captain. I think they're an Australian band, so you probably wouldn't know them. But it was, there's a line in it that we used to listen to when I was working for Games Workshop. The lyric was, "It's just a model built with plastic and with glue. But every day I go down to the airport and I'll fly away from you." All right. Feels good. Let's test it. Test your might. Dum 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 dum. Test your might. Oh, I have a few. I've got a couple that I'm hanging out to paint, but some that I'm regretful of purchasing. But there's a couple that I'm just way too nervous to paint. Technically, it's only 13 models, not. The Lucas Three Witches, mate, and Baba Yaga. I'm still nervous about them. You know what I'm saying. You might. Oh, regretful's probably not the right term. Like I don't like. Fuck, I'm upset that I bought that. But there's a couple that I buy with enthusiasm when they first come out, and then they arrive and they get popped up there, and then I don't really think about painting them, and then, 12 months down the track, I end up giving them away at Crimson Brush or selling them or giving them away as prizes or whatever. Like for example, I bought the Mindworks game Lone Wolf, which is based on a Michael Moorcock Elric thing, him standing between two pillars. I'm regretful of that. Little regretful of things like that. Where's my airbrush cleaner? Now, am I out? Flow improver. I thought I bought some more. Alright, we're in trouble then, friends. Need to buy some airbrush cleaner. Where's it up there? Oh, there it is. I thought I bought some. Filling up my airbrush cleaner squeezy bottle. Ooh. Alright, need to buy more airbrush cleaner. Get that from Hobbyrama. Let's just hair dry this bad boy and see how we look. Head off. I feel like it's made a difference just how I feel about the model. You know, all this feels a lot smoother. I like it a lot. Alright. We'll finish him off tomorrow night, friends. I am much enthusiastic about that. It'll be very good. We can test fit the head. Yeah, so the head is a work in progress. But yeah, the hands aren't done. Yep, the hands are most definitely not done. I'm actually thinking about painting a little eye on that or something. Yeah, I just need to add a little bit of the orange tones into the skin. I'll be fine. It'll be relatively easy. Cool. So we will complete that figure tomorrow night on Party Monday, and then you'll be able to join me hopefully this week on Wednesday night for a board game stream for the first time. If you want to watch me play board games with my friend Toki, play Game of Rebellion, you don't have to. And I'm only streaming it because I can, because I'm actually going to turn it into a video for YouTube, but I thought I can stream it at the same time. I think I can do both. Awesome. All right, friends, let's find someone we can go raid. Who can we raid? Twitch. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, we are. We are using the new expansion. Yep. Rise of the Empire. Yeah. love the expansion. I don't think I've only ever played it with the expansion. The combat is much better, and the little heroes are cool. And yeah, some other cool stuff. Here is some people we can raid. Let's have a look. Pac OXO88. We haven't ever seen that guy, but he's doing Noche de Chill, so I don't think we'll watch Noche de Chill. Reiner, Super Heavy Saturday painting. He's a good painter, this guy.
I tend to thin my paints down quite a bit, so it's a 1-to-1 at minimum. For most normal, just basic miniature paints for this, so that's what I'm using on that.
I wouldn't mind rating him. He's a good dude. How long's he been going for? 3 hours 36. Let's go.
Ooh. How you doing tonight, Lando? Yeah, Lando's a freaking renaissance, man. Ask him about his
See you, friends. You're all wonderful. See you tomorrow night, Party Monday. Have a great week. You're all legends.
Such a nasty cat. Let's see if we can match that. That actually seems like fun one to match. What's everybody else working on tonight, by the way? I feel like an asshole for not asking here, but you have everybody coming in from Duff Stream, and I haven't asked that at all. Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Deno, what's happening, buddy? Welcome. Holy shit, we have 2 legends in Mr. Deno. You guys haven't checked out Big Deno either. Make sure you go follow him. He's amazing. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for sharing your community, for sharing me with your community. I was fucked that up. Deno, what's going on tonight? What'd you end up painting? Paul, welcome to the channel.